All right, let's dive into Alagaësia. You ready?
I am. Let's do it.
Today we are talking about Eragon, the first book
The first book, yeah.
in Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle.
Yes.
And for those of you who haven't heard of it before, it's a young adult fantasy novel that follows a classic hero's journey,
Classic hero's journey, yeah.
but with a twist.
Big twist.
Paolini started writing it when he was 15.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable, isn't it? Imagine crafting a whole world, dragons, elves, magic, all at that age.
It's insane.
But this isn't just any teenage fantasy.
Right.
Eragon became a phenomenon, worldwide for a reason.
I agree.
So let's see what captivated so many readers. And we'll
Okay.
start right at the beginning.
Yeah, chapter 1, The Shade.
Mm.
What kicks off Eragon's adventure?
So we're introduced to Eragon. He's a 15-year-old farm boy.
Okay.
And he's living in this kind of backwater village called Carvajal. And while he's out hunting, he's in the Spine Mountains, these mysterious mountains, he stumbles on this polished blue stone,
Okay.
which turns out to be a little bit more than it seems.
I'm guessing it's not just any ordinary rock.
You guessed it, it's a dragon egg.
Ooh.
And not just any dragon egg.
Right.
This one has the power to reshape the fate of Alagaësia, which, for those who don't know, is ruled by the tyrannical king Galbatorix.
Right, so we've got our hero, Eragon,
Yeah.
and a dragon egg that can change everything.
Absolutely.
This is where things start to get good, right?
Yes. So chapter 2 is called The Inheritance.
Okay.
And basically the egg hatches,
Oh, wow.
revealing a beautiful sapphire blue dragon who
This-
Eragon names Saphira, and they form this deep telepathic bond,
Oh.
which is, totally new for Eragon, and it becomes super central to their whole journey.
Telepathic dragons. Okay, I'm already hooked.
Right.
Chapter 3 is breezing. First of all, what does that word mean?
It's the ancient language word for fire.
Oh, okay.
And it represents a major turning point because Eragon learns that he and Saphira, they're not alone.
Okay.
There are others out there, dragon riders,
Mhm.
who, before Galbatorix took over, they kept the peace in Alagaësia.
Wow, so he's stepping into something way bigger than he thought.
Exactly. He's inheriting not just a dragon,
Right.
but like a whole responsibility to fight this evil.
So fight tyranny.
Yeah. And this is where Brahm comes in. He's the village storyteller.
Okay.
And he recognizes what's up with the dragon, like how important this is.
Mhm.
And he steps in to be Eragon's mentor, guiding him in like swordsmanship, magic.
Yeah, the wise old mentor.
Every hero needs one.
They do.
And Brahm is like full of secrets and knowledge about these dragon riders. But their peaceful training is cut short because tragedy strikes in chapter 4, the Razak.
Ooh, that sounds ominous.
Doesn't it?
Like some kind of creature. Are they connected to Galbatorix?
You are right on the mark. They are Galbatorix's terrifying henchmen, described as these monstrous beings with a hunger for violence.
Oh, wow.
They actually attack Eragon's home, they kill his uncle,
Wait, no.
and force him to flee Carvajal with Saphira and Brahm.
Wow, what a turn of events.
Yeah.
So in chapter 5, the Urgles, are we introduced to more of Galbatorix's forces?
Yes. So Eragon, Saphira, and Brahm, they're being pursued by the Razak.
Okay.
And they run into the Urgles, who are these barbaric warriors who serve Galbatorix.
Wow.
Think of them as like the king's shock troops.
Mhm.
And these encounters, they really push Eragon to get good, with his sword, with magic,
Yeah, it's got to survive.
to survive, yeah. But how will he face the darkness closing in? That's the real question.
That is the question I guess we'll have to find out in part 2 of this deep dive.
Definitely.
Okay, welcome back to our deep dive into Eragon.
Yes.
Now, last time we left off, things weren't looking too good
No, not great.
for our young hero, Eragon.
Hmm.
Let's see what happens next. Chapter 6, The Sorcerer. Who is this sorcerer? What role do they play in this story?
So in this chapter, Eragon, Saphira, and Brahm, they encounter this mysterious figure. His name is Dursa,
Dursa, okay.
and he's a powerful shade.
Shade, what's that?
Yeah, so basically a shade is like an evil sorcerer corrupted by dark magic.
Oh, wow.
And he serves Galbatorix.
Okay.
So he becomes a pretty formidable adversary.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
For Eragon, like a real escalation of the threats he's facing.
Yeah, so we got the Urgles, we got the Razak, and now we have this Dursa.
Right, exactly.
Galbatorix has quite a crew of villains here.
He does.
What happens when Eragon confronts this shade?
It's a trial by fire, basically.
Okay.
Eragon has to use, all his developing skills, his magic, his swordsmanship to survive. But it's Brahm who really understands how dangerous this is.
Yeah, because he's got all this experience and knowledge.
Exactly. He really understands the power of a shade,
Mm-hmm.
and he shares this knowledge with Eragon
Oh.
about their history, you know, about how they're connected to the fall of the Dragon Riders.
Right.
And the threat that Dûr poses.
Yeah, he's the one who really understands what's at stake here.
Definitely.
So does this encounter change their journey in any way?
It really raises the stakes, I think, because Eragon realizes he's not just on a quest to escape.
Right.
He's got to actually confront this force that could destroy all of Alagaësia.
Yeah, the whole world is at stake.
Exactly. So Chapter 7, the Shade's defeat, dives into, you know, what happens after this clash.
I mean, how does Eragon defeat a shade?
Right. That's a great question.
These things sound so powerful.
They are.
Like, how is he possibly strong enough for that?
It's strategy, courage, and a bit of luck, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, Brahm's wisdom is key here, but ultimately it's Eragon's willingness to push himself and Saphira's loyalty.
Yeah, the bond with Saphira is so important.
So important, and that's what kind of turns the tide.
But you said victory comes at a price?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What happens?
So during the fight, Brahm is mortally wounded.
Oh, no.
And before he dies, he reveals a secret. He was a dragon rider.
Oh, wow.
Himself.
So he wasn't just some storyteller.
No.
That's a huge reveal.
Right. So this deepens, you know, the whole idea of legacy and the responsibility that Eragon has.
Wow, he really is following in Brahm's footsteps.
He is. And it's a real turning point because Eragon has lost his mentor now.
Yeah, he has to figure things out on his own.
He does. He has to rely on himself and on Saphira to keep going. Chapter 8 is Journey to the Varden.
Okay, who are the Varden, and why are they important to Eragon's story?
Basically, the Varden are a rebel group, and they want to overthrow Galbatorix.
Okay, so they're the good guys.
They're fighting for freedom, for everyone who's suffering under Galbatorix.
So Eragon isn't totally alone?
Not anymore, no. Brahm actually told him about them.
Okay, so he knew they were out there.
He did, yeah. He kind of planted the seeds.
But how does he find them? They seem pretty secretive.
Right. Well, he gets help, a new ally,
Okay.
and this is Chapter 9, the twins, Murtaugh. He enters the story.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a skilled warrior.
Okay.
With a mysterious past.
Of course.
And he helps Eragon and Saphira to, you know, not get captured and to figure out this tough terrain.
Survive.
Yeah. And they follow the clues that Brahm left, leading them closer and closer to the Varden.
It's like a treasure hunt.
It is. So Eragon is finding all these companions.
Yeah. First Brahm, now Murtaugh. They're both helping him to grow.
They are.
Chapter 10, the Forest of Duwelden Varden.
Yes.
Sounds like a new environment.
New environment, new challenges.
What's in store for them there?
This forest is home to the elves.
The elves, okay.
Right. This ancient race, super connected to magic and nature. Beautiful place, but also dangerous.
Yeah.
They have to be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, the natural dangers, but also the elves themselves.
Right. The elves could be dangerous, too.
Definitely.
So elves in a magical forest.
It's a recipe for wonder, but also danger.
I like it. I like it. So before they can even really explore this forest,
yes,
they're captured by the elves.
That's right.
Which is Chapter 11. Captured by elves.
Yes.
And this is where they meet Arya.
Arya, yeah.
The elf from Eragon's dreams.
Exactly. And she's being held prisoner by Dûr.
Oh, so she's real.
She's real.
That's why he was dreaming about her.
Yes, and rescuing her becomes a top priority.
Right, because she's in danger.
Yes. So this rescue mission, Chapter 12, the battle under Farthen Dûr, really highlights the climax of this whole thing.
Oh, wow. From capture to a battle.
It escalates quickly.
It does. It does. So tell me about this battle. What happens?
It takes place under the mountains.
Okay.
Farthen Dûr, which is where the Varden have their stronghold. So Eragon, Saphira, Murtaugh, and the Varden.
Wow. They're all together now.
They're all fighting together against Dûr.
Okay.
And his army of Urgals.
This does sound like the ultimate clash.
It is.
Of good versus evil.
Yeah.
So does Eragon defeat Dûr?
It's a huge test. I mean, Eragon and Saphira,
right,
their skills are pushed to the limit.
Yeah, that.
I mean, it's a real moment of truth where he discovers his potential and his
Yeah.
courage. But Paolini likes to keep us guessing.
Oh, no.
You'll have to wait for part 3 to see what happens.
Okay. Welcome back. It's the final part of our Eragon deep dive.
Here we are.
Now, we left off I mean, it was pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
Eragon, Sapphira,
Varden.
the Varden all facing off against...
Dorza and his Urgles.
Right, and the fate of, well, pretty much everything.
The whole world.
Hanging in the balance.
High stakes.
Yeah, chapter 13, appropriately titled, Fire in the Sky.
Yes.
What happens in this climactic battle?
So much happens. It's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Eragon and Sapphira fighting so bravely. Their bond is just, it's amazing. It's stronger than ever.
Yeah, we've seen it growing throughout the whole story.
Right. And you can just imagine Sapphira's fire lighting up everything.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's a spectacle.
I bet.
But even with all their power, Durza, he's a tough opponent.
Yeah, he's a shade.
He's a shade. He's got this dark magic. He's got the Urgles at his command.
Right, right. So does Eragon, I mean, he's young, he's untested.
Yeah.
Does he actually stand a chance against Durza?
He does, but it's not just about, being the strongest or the best fighter.
Okay.
Remember, his strength comes from Sapphira,
Their bond.
their bond, and from his ability to think strategically, to be smart. And that's what happens during the battle. Eragon sees a weakness in Durza's defenses.
Okay.
And he takes advantage of it.
Oh, right.
And that leads to Durza's downfall.
Wow, so he outsmarts him, basically.
He does. It's pretty impressive for, someone so young.
It is. But I'm guessing defeating Durza doesn't mean the war is over.
No, not at all. It's just the beginning, really.
Chapter 14, the Blood Oath Celebration. What happens after the battle?
Well, there's a sense of relief.
Yeah.
They won. They won. And, they celebrate the Varden and their allies.
It's victory.
It is a victory. They have to acknowledge all the sacrifices made,
right.
The courage they showed.
Mm-hmm. But you said earlier, victory comes at a price.
Yes.
What does that mean for Eragon?
So during the fight with Durza,
Okay.
he gets badly injured.
Oh, no. What kind of injury?
It's like a magical wound.
Oh, so not just a physical one.
No, it leaves a scar on his back.
Okay.
And it's a reminder of what it cost,
Yeah, the cost of fighting evil, the cost of this war.
And it connects him to this battle forever.
Yeah, it's a physical reminder of everything he went through.
A permanent reminder. Chapter 15, the last chapter, Inheritance.
Okay, what happens here?
This chapter sets the stage for the whole rest of the series.
Okay.
So we learned about Eragon's family history, and it turns out he's descended from, the riders that Galbatorix betrayed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's not just any rider.
He's got this whole legacy.
This legacy. So he's not just fighting for the future.
Right, he's fighting for the past, too.
He's carrying the weight of history.
It's a lot for one person to handle.
It is. And he knows his training isn't finished.
Mm-hmm.
He's got keep learning.
Right.
So he decides to go with Arya to the Elven lands.
To train more.
Yeah, to get stronger.
To eventually face Galbatorix.
Exactly.
So Eragon ends, I mean, there's some closure, but there's also...
anticipation.
Yeah. This is just the beginning of his journey.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's faced so many challenges. He's had victories.
But he's still learning.
He's still growing. And his journey, like this whole series, it's just starting.
Well, this deep dive has been, amazing.
It's been fun.
Magic, dragons, battles.
All of it.
But, more than that, Eragon is about courage.
Yes.
About friendship, about fighting for what's right. It reminds us that anyone, even a regular person, can rise to the occasion, can face these huge challenges.
And change the world.
And change the world. And it's incredible to think
it's
that
like
this whole story
came from a teenager.
came from the mind of a 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring.
It is. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Of course.
Into Eragon. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.